What's up everyone, Tiger Stacker here. And in this video we're going to talk about inflation, deflation, Tyr's law, and Gresham's law. Inflation is a measure of how much you have to spend to get the same products that you used to get with less money. This economic problem has existed for as long as man-made money has existed. Gold and silver are God's money. The fiat currency we have is made by man. And this has been going on for centuries. If you look at pose the greatest threat to our country, Rome, they would whittle away the sides of their coins. Eventually they went to base metals. Well, this is not new. There have been well over 4,800 failed fiat currencies in the last 6,000 years. And do you think that we're going to have any change in our upcoming history considering what's happened over the years? What saved us from this happening to us is that we were the only world reserve currency. Now we've got a financial warfare happening between China and the BRICS nations, plus our own instability that we have here. I know some of you are going to say that I am yet another negative Nelly, but if you look at history, it tends to repeat itself. So how do you fight inflation? With something that's not much better. Deflation, which is an overall decrease in the cost of economic goods and services. While a decrease in price may spur consumer spending, broad deflation can discourage spending and lead to even greater deflation in economic downturns. Deflation fights inflation. Inflation fights deflation, both of which are bad for the economy. And we are a nation that is not producing like we used to. We are a nation that has farmed out all that, including but not limited to the NAFTA agreements. We need to be a nation who supports itself and gets back on its own feet. So, do you think this is something new in history? It's not. Let's look at Gresham's law. Bad money drives out good money. This has been going on for a long time. Gresham has long since been dead. Bad money always drives out good money until the opposite occurs. What is the opposite? Tyr's law, which is the reverse of Gresham's law, that good money drives out bad money whenever the bad money becomes worthless. Look at the purchasing power of the dollar from 1913, which was the beginning of the Federal Reserve and the beginning of us separating from the gold and silver standard. My friends, facts don't lie, especially if they're told by people telling the truth. Our current inflation is worse than what they tell us because they are not using the same standards they used in the 1970s. If they used those standards, our inflation rate currently would be approximately twice as much. And look, we are approximately 3 cents on the dollar compared to 1913. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and others are joining, including our allies such as France. They're also including a good bit of Africa and South America. We are no longer as strong as we once were. The BRICS nations, because when economic instability happens, war is inevitable. Jerome Powell discussed de-dollarization of the world's reserve currency. He stated, "I think the reason we have that status is largely due to our great democratic institutions, the rule of law, and the fact we have, generally speaking, had strong levels of price stability." That's not historically correct. We took over as world reserve currency after Britain for the same reason that they took over from their predecessors. The dollar's reserve currency status was originally a consequence of America's economic dominance but it has since become the main prop upon which economic dominance now rests. Once the dollar's reserve status is lost, U.S. economic dominance will topple. This is the nature of the world. This is the nature of what has happened in history, over and over again. Don't believe what the cake eaters are telling you. Look at history. What are nations such as China, India, Russia, and the central banks all doing? They are returning to precious metals, but usually gold. Norm Franz, author of Money and Wealth in the New Millennium, says it best. Gold is the money of kings. Silver is the money of gentlemen. Barter is the money of peasants. But debt is the money of slaves. Physical silver and gold is God's money and was given to us to use for such purpose. Our country, like so many others, invented ways to bypass this. Our forefathers themselves put into the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution, stating that no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin as tender in the payment of debts. But yet, there is a constant attempt to devalue. Here you see a gold certificate, a silver certificate, a government note, until we finally get to the worst of them all, the Federal Reserve note, which is pure fiat, purely based on the promise of government, backed by nothing but promises, which can be broken. How many people in your life have given you promises and broke them? And now, our country is working diligently towards central bank digital currency, CBDCs. FedNow is coming faster. They're now launching it. They're having some problems, but they are set on making this reality. You've heard all the warnings from everyone else, and Big Brother just keeps getting bigger. This is totally unconstitutional. The only thing that is constitutional is gold and silver for the payment of debt, which is why I believe in stacking constitutional silver as well as backs. In closing, I want you to please not be so scared, but instead prepare. Protect your family. Make them as stable as possible so that you can enjoy each other, make happy memories, not live in stress, and have the stability that you need. With this, I close. God bless all of you. Take care, and always remember to love each other. Tiger Stacker.